Lots of testing. Lots of testing. We've been at this for over a week now, just picking away at it, sorting out little issues. We had a problem with spark plug wires again, and we tried those ceramic Excel wires and they didn't work out too good, so we're back to the MSDs again. So, interesting revelations we're learning. So we got over 960 pounds of torque and 1,098 rear wheel.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, the dyno is not recording properly. This says 6,600 here. This is actually 7,000 RPM. So if I take this torque number and multiply it by RPM divided by 5252, we got like 1,150 rear wheel. So dyno's doing something weird. It's been doing it for a while. We don't know why it's doing it. Nobody really knows why it's doing it, but that's how I can calculate the actual peak power, is to take the last torque number and move it to 7,000, where I'm actually pulling the motor up to here, and it's still on the way up. So yeah, I know it's all of that, and it's showing it in the data in the HP tuners as well.
The amount of airflow. Yeah,
the amount of airflow and the amount of fuel flow that we're putting through it, it's all of 1150. So, I mean, we're not chasing numbers. We just want a good, reliable combination. So let's do a recap of this build. This has been one of our flagship cars here, owned by Crazy Todd.
Pump gas, Todd.
Pump gas. So we got a Rotofab Big Gulp, one of our favorites. This has a Nick Williams 120mm throttle body on it.
It's nuts.
And it has a Jokerz Performance ported Magnuson 2650. We are running the ATI Super Damper. This is one of our 416 engines that we build in-house here. It's got the ATI Super Damper, and we just switched over to the DSX 10-rib drive. So you take a look at that. And we're using GripTech upper pulleys because they got a phenomenal selection. GripTech has a phenomenal selection of pulleys. You can get them in, I think, probably 60 thousandths increments. It's pretty crazy. They offer so many different sizes. I don't know that that's the exact number, but I know they're really close together. It's got PRC cylinder heads on it.
The LTX, the LTX. Full CNC series. Right. Yep.
And this also has the DSX Atlas port injection system on it. So we're running an LT4 high pressure pump that comes on the car, the LT4 injectors that comes on the car. It does have a FORE Innovations triple pump system in it to supply all the fuel that we need. It supplies both the DI and the PI, and that's direct injection and port injection for those of you who don't know. All the fuel that it needs.
Yeah.
It has a flex fuel sensor in it in the return line. It tells the computer when we're running ethanol. We are currently on E85. Straight
E85.
Yep. Straight E85. And we can go right to E98 if we want. The port injection from Atlas, I can tell you, I've been here going on 39 years. I've been doing this, working with aftermarket companies and all of their products, and this thing is killer. It really is. It's so seamlessly integrated, the data logging ability to see everything that's going on.
It's got its own Wi-Fi network.
Yes, it has its own Wi-Fi network.
So cool.
Which is really cool. It's got dual widebands, so it can do correction. If something were to go awry, it can correct for low fuel pressure or something like that by opening the injectors longer. We are running ID 1050 injectors in the port plates. This has 2-inch Cook's headers on it, 3-inch exhaust. It's got a Fisher-built 10-speed automatic in it with a Circle D custom converter built for this application, spec, to this application. It's got a stock rear end in it.
Yeah,
ZL1 rear end.
Stock axle, stock drive
axle,
shaft.
Stock drive shaft, all that stuff. Primarily a roll race car. Not really set up for drag racing. You know, this is a regular ZL1 dressed up to look like a 1LE because they're just so much better looking.
Oh yeah.
The grill shell and everything on the 1LE is just so much more aggressive. We currently have the canards off of it, and we have the rear wing off of it. So if you notice the pictures from the back, there's no wing on it.
There's no wing on it.
And there's a reason behind it.
We won't divulge that.
Well,
but
it's just wind resistance, you know what I mean? When you're going for mile per hour, you need all the help you can get.
Yeah.
You know, so we're really thrilled with this build. It's definitely gives us so much R&D. You know, we've done so many different things with this car. We had an XDI fuel system on it. That was, you know, when they work really well, but it just wasn't reliable, unfortunately. You know, I love XDI. Their stuff is nice, but I sorted through and fixed a lot of the problems. You know, we developed our own belt drive for it.
Developed our own oil feed and return for it.
We did a lot of cool stuff with it to make it more reliable, but we're still having issues. So we switched over to the port injection for that, for the reliability reasons, if nothing else. Like I said, it's a great system when it works, and I've got other ones out there that I've never had a problem with.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, these two just wouldn't get along.
I think part of it is how extreme of a build we had external to the XDI system also working with it.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the other car I had was a 427 car. That car made 1150.
Yeah.
1130 or 1150, I don't remember. And as far as I know, it's still running. I got another guy out Midwest with a Camaro Super Sport that has an XDI system on it, and it's been good. And I hear from him periodically, you know, but I think this car just gets used a whole lot more. This car is everywhere all the time. This car went down to the tail of the Dragon and back, you know.
Not on a trailer.
Not on a trailer. It drove down, drove back. And so it just seemed like it always seemed to fail when we're at an event. So you sign up, pay money, go to the event, and it would break at the event. And it happened 3 times. Stage
fright, performance anxiety.
Yes, it's got performance anxiety. Yeah, something like that. But I mean, out on the street, the thing was always there. It never
monster, yeah.
Just, you know, it's just soon as we sign up for an event, frickin' thing would fail us. So we just can't have that. You know, we can't have the failures. But looking forward, looking positive. The other thing we're probably going to be adding to it is the new DSX boost controller. Which I'm really excited about. It's not done yet. They're still in, you know, development stages, but they are talking about it. So I guess it's okay for me to talk about it if they're talking about it. It's going to be a servo-driven controller for the bypass. So right now this is vacuum-operated bypass. Okay. Well, it's going to have a servo motor that's going to operate this valve, and you can go anywhere from 0 boost, you know, to full boost. How you want to ramp it. They're talking
by gear, by speed.
Yeah, they're talking about tying it to the throttle, tying it to traction control, tying it to maybe ethanol. You know, so
ethanol percentage would be super cool. Yeah.
That would be,
yeah.
That I'm really excited about.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
You know, if the ethanol percentage goes down, obviously you want to take boost out of it.
Yeah.
You know, your fuel quality goes away as far as knock resistance. So
instead of getting over on the side of the road and swapping a pulley, computer's just like, oh, less E, less boost.
That's it.
Easy.
That's going to be a game changer right there. There's a lot of exciting things coming down the pipe, and you know, we're not the fastest one to the punch because we like to really sort these things out and make sure that they're everything they claim to be before we
boast about
start
using
it and bragging about it, you know, so on and so forth. Yeah. And you know, I've known Dave at DSX for a very long time, and his stuff is really good. You know, he builds stuff with the mindset that the OEMs, this stuff has to go out there and it has to work, and it has to work forever. So I'm really, you know, proud to be spouting off about the SX products. They really are super nice stuff. Everything he builds, super high quality.
Yeah, the CNC work is fantastic. I mean, these valve covers, these billet valve covers are beautiful.
His DSX billet valve covers on there. Look at those things. You know, that's part of getting the port system to fit.
Yeah, so you guys can see the port rail right here. And part of that deal is using lower profile valve covers like this. And I mean, you polish that, it's like a mirror. Look at that.
You know, that 10 rib system, beautiful. Bolts right on. It's got a heavy duty tensioner on it.
And it's got two tensioner relocation brackets too. It moved around.
Yeah, so this pulley has 3 different holes it can mount to on this bracket. The bracket has 3 holes, so you can move this pulley around to get your, you know, to find the perfect belt, because you don't have a lot of choices when it comes to 10 rib. In fact, we had to go to a 12 rib to get the right length and cut 2 ribs off it. So, you know, because it's just the combination of pulleys that we're using limited us on belt selection. So, but you know, we've learned so much from this project. It's like going to school every day.
We've tried a lot on this car that we haven't used on anything else yet.
You know, it's one thing to put these parts on for a drag race application. You know what I mean? There's so many nuances that you don't care about when all you're focused on is drag racing. But, you know, we do a lot of road race stuff, and we do way more street stuff. So drivability, idle quality, throttle response, transmission shift points, all those things that you experience as a driver from the driver's seat matter. They matter a lot to me, and I'm super fussy about it. And, you know, this 120 millimeter throttle body threw me for a loop for a long time.
I remember
it, because the computer, the value for the throttle area only goes up to 103.
The computer cannot comprehend a throttle body with this circular area. So there was a lot of wrestling with it that Ted ended up having to do.
Yep, and it's, you know, these kind of challenges, I welcome them because they allow me to force myself to learn stuff, to figure stuff out. You know, I love being a problem solver. You know, this thing just didn't want to idle with any timing in it, and it just wasn't happy. And we've had, you know, I had to trick it to get it to idle decent with the right amount of timing in it. But now I'm starting to learn some more about ECM and how it thinks and how it calculates torque and stuff like that. I mean, the torque tables, that's stuff I've been doing for years, but it didn't apply to this throttle body because it's just too damn big. You know, the computer can't comprehend 120 millimeters.
No,
you know, it can 20% bigger than the biggest number you could put in there.
Yeah, it is. They can only comprehend a, what is it, 102 millimeter?
Yeah, very good, very good. It's you know, 8192 is the largest number you can put in, and that works out to about 103 millimeters. Yeah. So 102, 103 millimeters. So you put that number in there, then it's still going to do what it wants.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens is the throttle blade is passing more air than the computer can comprehend. So obviously it's going to make it idle high. Well, what's the next strategy to get the idle to come down? Well, pull timing out of it. So it was running 10, 15 degrees negative timing, and the headers were glowing.
You could see right through them, dude. It was like red stained glass. It didn't look like metal.
Right. So, you know, that was a battle. So we got it. We got it working really good. You heard the idle quality now. It's got on an average of between 5 and 10 degrees of timing in an idle. So it's a lot happier. Sounds better. It used to sound like stock cam.
Oh my god, it was smooth as glass, dude. You got the timing in it, and it started chopping trees down.
Yeah, that's good. So, always fun to talk about this stuff. Really proud of Teddy, you know, and my whole team here for all their efforts in building this car. You know, Tony assembles all the engines. We got Bob Bruno Engine Research, does all our machine work on our LSs and LTs. He's been my machinist since I was 16 years old, so we're going on a long time. I'm 60, so subtract it. That's 44 years.
44. Yeah.
Almost 45. He's been my machinist. You know, so the Fisher built transmission is really wonderful. He does an amazing job on those. So shout out to Fisher built transmissions. We're excited to get this thing out to the airports and the Pocono and some of the other roll race events. Have some fun with it. And I think we got the reliability problems worked out. You know, the engine's always been a solid performer. It's just been fuel system issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So there is discussion about, you know, you can make more power on DI than you can on DI-PI together, and it's 100% true, but it's not that much. It's a small percentage.
Yeah.
I mean, it adds up when you're talking about 1,200 horsepower, but, you know, a couple percent.
It's all a matter of perspective, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, a couple percent at 600 horsepower is not as much as a couple percent
at twice that.
Yeah, twice that, so it's twice as much. But, you know, again, I'd rather have a little less horsepower and be reliable than more horsepower and braking all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so bragging rights are only good if the car works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
if it's broken half the time, then you can't really brag about much.
That's another thing we did when we put the port plates on it. Raised the blower up. So
one of our customers Griffin Motorsports.
Griffin Motorsports makes this bracket here, and then we added these two brackets here.
Very nice job, Gabe. Yeah, they look really good.
So they fit nice, bolt right on, stainless hardware, powder coated. You know, it removes the inner brace that used to hold this. So we picked up a bunch of airflow for cooling. And we got a whole bunch of hood clearance, and we took some weight off the car. Yeah. So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win-win.
You know, it's a triple win.
Jackpot.
I don't know what else we could talk about on this car. Some of the gadgets that it has. So it's all lit up. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you can't see that's underneath, and
craftsmanship, the actual workmanship.
You know, I mean,
the wiring harness for the DSX Atlas system is huge. It's got to be cumulatively like 20-25 feet between the wide bands and the main harness, and you can't even tell that it's installed other than the fuse links. Yeah, there's the bracket for it, and everything else is concealed all behind the front bumper.
He gives us a beautiful billet bracket to mount the Atlas controller right there. Teddy did a phenomenal job putting this car together, and
I think now we really got a real well-rounded combination out of this thing now.
I'm tickled to death, excited to get it back out there. It's always been a good performer, but it was not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
either ran really good or it didn't.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It was always fuel system every single time. So we're past it now, and I think we got a really good, solid combination moving forward. You know, racing's racing. Shit's gonna break. You never, you know.
You can't get away from that.
Part of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, watch any race, watch any competition. There's always going to be stuff that happens, stuff that breaks out of the blue. You can't predict everything. You know, you put your best foot forward and make sure it's your best foot on every single step of the way, and that's all you can do. You know, that's all you can do. So we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned.